Put it down, baby. Give it to Grandma Bella, please. Put it down, baby. No. Give it to Grandma.
Bella, come here.
Put it down,
Bella, get over here right now.
Give it to me, baby.
Everybody, just be quiet. Twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above, the world so high, like a giant in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are.
So this part, the kid, Hakeem and his family are, they're in the house, the household. They started arguing, and so Hakeem is arguing with his girl about his kids, and then Cookie and Lucius are arguing about I forgot what they was arguing about. They was arguing. Hold on. So it was actually at the end. They was arguing about something. But what got me was that I feel like they all were at a point of giving up on, like, at the point where they were about to give up on any hope. Like, basically, it's just it's like breaking one string, of, okay, so see love as a, the heart. They were at a point where, the heart is love, and it's the heart and it represents love. So in order for this song to play in tune and sound like a song, one of the chords have to be cut on this heart. So they clipped that. I feel like they was at the point where they was about to clip one of those strands to make them of that feeling of love they have for each other. So Cookie and Lucius, like, she wound up love they have for each other. And it's kind of like cutting down hope, any feeling of hope you have for the situation. So you're cutting down hope, and that first string was about to get cut. So I feel like the way this situation escalated was, it all came down to, it's kind of like the universe made this decision for them. It was a distraction from what was going on. So maybe it could have, there was a chance of that this wouldn't have no effect. And then now it being, this is the only option you have going forward. So then Lucius, so what basically symbolized each relationship was what they were doing at that time. So they So Lucius and so at the beginning of the relationship, well, at the beginning in the beginning of when everything happened, Lucius gave Cookie this picture, and this is something that she always wanted, something that meant a lot to her. It was something about this picture, I don't know, but it's something that she kind of clung to. Showing that, you know, some type of gesture to the to their gesturing the relationship that, you know, I actually care about who you are inside, and you matter, and you know, you matter as a person to me. So then Lucius started cutting that up. You know, he started cutting that up, and she's sitting there, you know, whining to him and yelling at him. You know, he's just cutting that up with a knife. And then Hakeem is at a point where his girl didn't matter. He got angry to the point where she don't matter. You know, he looking at her like, you know, all I care about is my kids. You're not about to take my kids from me. Basically, that affection wasn't there anymore that he had for her. That passion. You know, all eyes are on you. You know, that kind of that kind of was fading away. So that's another strand that kept them together, kept their love song together, kept the relationship together. You know, it's one of those stones to a building when you're building a foundation. It's like that's one of those stones. So they were at that point where they were about to pull out those stones. That stone was about to fall. So it must be really, really, really important because, or very relevant because the universe invaded into the situation. It took their mind away from that. It took that part of their mind away. So basically, that's something that's really relevant that's keeping this relationship together. And if that stone was to fall, what they have for each other would have started to fall, and once it fell, it fell. You know, there's no trying to put it back together. So, so then the little girl came in, and this is the part where the little girl comes in and she's holding the trigger. You know, everything paused, and she's just, you know, first she was pointing it at them, and then she pointed at herself, and my thoughts was just like, hopefully that gun isn't loaded, but the way that they were all paused, it may have been, you know, but then Hakeem started, you know, and then she aimed it at herself, and she aimed it at her head, and they all paused, like, put the gun down, they kind of just froze, you know. So then Hakeem had to, and then my thought to that was like, if her little fingers is not strong enough to pull that trigger just by how small she is. But then when she cocked the gun back, because it's actually hard to cock a gun back, she cocked that back, and I'm just like, okay, so she got some strength to her. So, you know, that kind of calmed me down, but then I'm just like, hold on, wait, you know, there's a chance. So then that's when everybody got quiet. He was like, everybody shut up. And Hakeem started to come towards this little girl, singing her, finding, you know, because she loves singing. She loves hearing her dad sing to her. So he started going towards her, singing to her, calming her down, you know, taking her mind away from that situation. So then he managed to grab the gun real fast. So this more so is about how now we get to how Hakeem is feeling. You know, everybody had to be quiet. His mind kind of, basically, he had to give her his full undivided attention so that she can give him her full undivided attention. And that's how they managed to get the gun away from the little girl. But all I'm saying is that this is why having guns in a household is not good. You know, why it's not good, because, you know, that's the first thing I thought about. You know, when one of my past relationship, at the end, like when we was clashing and this and that, he had a gun, and he pulled a gun out. He didn't cock the gun, he didn't do anything with the gun, but he pulled it out, and I knew right then and there, you know, this was something that I need to be present for. This is something that took my mind away from a situation. This is something that became more relevant to the point where now I need to be grounded in where I am and pay attention to my surroundings, because there has been an invasion of my life, of my relationship, of my family. Now I need to pay attention here. So that kind of just like triggered something in me to where it's no longer safe. I'm no longer safe. My home is no longer safe. So then it's just like, you know, when you get to that point, it's like that one of my bricks to that foundation that held that foundation together in that situation was taken. It's taken away, from my relationship. Personally, how I felt emotionally, attachment became detached. It took my mind away. Because I knew right here in this episode, in this moment, that this is possible. This can happen. You don't know how strong your kids, we are underestimating our kids, underestimating, because they, in this era, you don't know how strong we are. You don't know how strong our muscles have become. And the stronger we get, the stronger our kids get. So eventually they will have, maybe they do have that strength to pull that trigger at such a young age. Just by showing that she got the strength to cock that gun back at a young age, she have the strength and the potential to possibly make something happen that shouldn't actually happen. So never underestimate your children. Never underestimate your children. Underestimate your children, because you never know what can happen. It's at that point where it may just be possible this time around. So always stay aware.